in a way. I'm not knocking what anybody said in there.
Lemmy, serious?
Huh?
Lemmy, serious?
Yeah, Lemmy a
kind of
fiver.
serious. There's a few other people in there. A lot of people were like lying about things.
Yeah, Ozzy was there trying to cook his bacon and eggs, and then he said, "I'm totally off drink and drugs," and tried to
And
pour.
then he's trying to pour the orange juice.
Trying to pour the orange juice. It was all over the table. You're like, stand still.
Chris,
Really, well, maybe if he did have a drink, he'd stop shaking.
I heard you was brought up on vodka, and I don't know if it's true. Was your mum a real Hell's Angel?
Yeah, well, my stepdad was. And there's no women Hells Angels. There's no such thing. They just ride.
They go along for the ride.
Yeah.
Right, they're on the back, because they probably change them like they do their teeth.
Jesus.
Their toothbrushes.
And Blackie, I mean, people quote that you're mentally worn out these days. Is that a true quote?
So something like my accountant's trying to push off on me, you're not really right. You should let me handle all of these things for you. No,
But you have to go on it. It's hard, like producing your own album, the writing, and then all the PR work, what's got to be done.
I'll be honest with you. Before we started this record, I had it. When I saw you guys at Donington a year and a half ago, I was just starting to come out of it at that time. But because we went for so long, we did a record and a tour and a record and a tour and a record and a tour, and finally after a while, I didn't know what my name was after a while.
Yeah.
I was walking around bumping into walls for no reason at all. And you really get to a point where you don't know who you are and what your name is, and more importantly, you don't know where you're going. And I've had this conversation with two other guys in major bands that have said, expressed the same kind of feelings that they both said, and they'll remain nameless, but each record that they had both made previous said they didn't know what they were doing. You start doing things on instinct, and that is not good for creativity.
No, it's
so
not.
you really have to take a step backwards, so hopefully you can take two forward.
With the new single, I hope.
Well, the public will be the judge of that. We'll have this conversation in 3 months, and I'll tell you.
Yeah, I mean, do you think it's important to have a hit single in America?
You can live without singles anywhere as long as the record is true to form of what it is, and as long as it becomes conducive. I think if a band starts thinking about singles, that's the road to ruin.
Okay.
Let's play a video, Mick.
Yeah, we'll talk about the tour.
Yeah.
The forthcoming tour. We'll take a look at Wild Child. Why not?
Yeah.
I like this video.
I'm a wild child.
Check it out, viewers.
I ride the winds and bring the rain.
dedicated to all you metalheads out there because we know that you're all wild child.
Well, we've had some serious talk from the boys. We're going to talk about a bit of humour now. Blackie,
Very little humor.
I hear you come across Chris in a magazine called The Hustler.
Well, we call it the hustler, not the hostler.
A horse.
Horsler, that sounds like something you're roping out in the field. Wow, I got him, boys. It's a big one. The horsler, you know, the horse rustler, that's what it is. It's combined, one word.
How did he come up? I mean, what was Chris wearing inside? I mean,
Not much. His birthday suit, you know, and a bow tie. No, it was just this thing, you know. It's like I was in a band called Sister, which was actually a predecessor for Wasp, and we were looking for a guitar player. And we knew the group, the Motels, used to live like 2 doors down from us at the time. And the guitar player come by and he says, I was looking through this magazine. They've got a section in there which they call the Beaver Hunt, you know, which is where these, you know, voyeur men send in snapshots of their wives, and some of them could be better looking. Let's put it that way. But they've got one section in there. It says for women only, and where, you know, a snapshot of a guy is sent in. And I looked through there, and it's a picture of him in there, and it says rock and roll animal up underneath it. And I was telling one guy, I says, look at this guy. And this guy from the Motels came down, the guitar player, he goes, I know this guy. And then I started looking at him. I said, yeah, right, sure, you know, get out of my house. You know? And he says, no, he says, this guy's a guitar player here, he's pretty good. He says, I know somebody who knows him. He says, we can get in touch with him if you like, you know. Come to find out, he lives in Pasadena, which is about 15 miles from where we're at. And called him up and said, you know, how long's your hair? And he says, to my rear end. And I said, how tall are you? He says, 6'5". I said, you got any zits? He says, no. I said, come on down. And here we are now.
you actually found someone bigger than you.
An installer, yeah.
Was Sister before Circus?
Yes. That's where I met Randy Piper, was from Circus.
Yeah, Randy Piper was a nice character. What? Surprised to see him go, Blackie. What was the reason behind that?
I don't know. It's just now you see him, now you don't.
You don't.
It's like,
You've been on the road for a long time. I mean, it must get a lot of pressure for bands to keep touring, like you said, in the albums.
touring is actually easier than making records. Touring is pretty mindless, you know. I mean, making the records is the tough part. Because, I mean, it's like taking an algebra exam every day. You know, every day's a test. But then when it's done, and hopefully it turns out all right, you set up your pre-production to start the tour. And then when the tour starts, then you have some fun. Because you're only doing it an hour and a half a night.
That's the same thing every night.
You know, I mean, it's really easy.
Yeah.
Kai doesn't think so of Halloween. He's left because
Well,
of...
I don't know what kind of tours he's been on, but he ain't been on the ones we've been on. I'll tell you that. You know, we're having a blast.
Are you still close?
I mean, come on. I mean, let's face it. You're working an hour and a half a night. How tough is that? I mean, it beats sitting behind a grill somewhere saying, "Excuse me, man, would you like cheese on that burger?" You know, I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Anybody complain about this ain't got much to complain about. You know, I mean, you show me a man with $5 million ain't happy, I'll show you a damn fool. You know, I mean, come on.
Good point.
Are you still close, you two? But you've been together about 10
We've
years.
got 2 or 3 inches apart. Right? No, you'll take 10 years together. It's like, you know everybody's idiosyncrasies and all that. You know, it's like you're married in a way. You know,
Chris, you're
of course that's
looking for a
illegal in most states. You know, but
drummer. You're looking for a drummer, Chris?
Yeah.
Is that
Are
any
we looking
ideas?
for one now?
Mm-hmm.
We got 2 ideas, or 3, or 4, or 5. We used Frankie Vanelli on the album, but I don't want to say who will be touring with us. It's too early for that.
Where does this tour kick off? Back in...
February 4th in Dublin, and then we do about
February?
14. Is it February?
Yeah.
March.
March.
Pick a month. Any month. Really. We started this thing 3 days ago. Thank you, son. No, March. What month is it? April 4th. I'm sorry.
April 4th.
February 4th next year.
Pick a month.
99.
Right.
Say to the UK.
We're taking another year off.
Really. That's like when we're making the record. You know, the guy from Capitol calls me up and he says, "When's the record going to be done?" I said, "May." And this is last year, and so then October rolls around, and it's still not done. He calls me up, he goes, "I thought you said the thing was going to be done in May." I says, "Yeah, but I didn't say what year."
Yeah.
You know? Then finally, he calls me up again, and he says, "When's this thing going to be done?" I says, "Listen," I said, "remember when you was a kid, you stick your head in the kitchen and tell your mother, say, 'Hey, Mom, when's dinner going to be ready?' She said, 'Get out of here. It's on the table when it's ready and not until.'" I says, "Yeah, you get my drift now?" And he goes, "Yeah, he never called again."
Get me drift, but you was that over here. Get me drift. Yeah. And
So anyway, we start April 4th
Right.
in Dublin of this year.
of this year.
And it'll take us to about 14 dates, and then we're over to mainland Europe after that for a couple
A
months.
support band? I've heard a rumour might be Slave Raider.
No.
Be. No.
What I'm hearing right now is Femme Fatale.
Mm.
But, yeah, that's what I said, too.
Yeah. we just had Lorraine Lewis on the show.
Oh, I thought you were going to say you just had Lorraine Lewis.
Yeah. I saw the
Where
image
was
in your
I when
eyes.
this was going on?
Chris, are you looking forward to the tour in England? I mean, the Donington one, you could tell the viewers you wasn't really happy on stage.
Well, as long as it doesn't rain inside the halls, I'll be having fun. I'll love it. I just didn't like it raining. This is the first time I ever played in the rain. I was waiting to get zapped by something, and I've never played in the rain before.
But you went down.
There was
really
this
well.
much water on the stage. I might as well have been swimming underground. And it's just hard to perform like that.
Well, it's interesting. A lot of viewers didn't realise that.
I mean,
I mean,
this is rock
What do
and
you
roll,
mean, people
Chris.
that were in the audience? It
It
didn't
ain't
rain?
brain surgery.
No, I didn't
Wait, I didn't know. Did it rain in the audience? Because it sure did on the stage.
But they didn't realise you wasn't having fun on stage.
Well, I was having fun, but I wasn't. I just don't like the rain. You know,
It's the difference, Steve.
where I come from, it rains once.
Every 10 years.
Yeah, and rarely. And then
Then
you're
everybody
inside.
gets, because it does, they think they've all done something wrong. They run
Yeah.
cut a calf and put it on a rock like, oh, we won't do it again. You know.
Well, we've got to go, Blackie. Have you got
Okay.
your brollies? Because it's raining over
What
here.
is?
It's been a pleasure.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Really has.
Thanks, Mick.
Chris?
Des.
See you when
Look
we
forward
get
to
back.
you
On tour.
on tour.
Good luck with the new album,
We'll
the
be
new
back.
direction. Look
Okay.
forward to it.
We'll be back.
In the meantime, we'll take a look at a video.
All right.